What's up, guys? DCK here, hitting you up real quick with a video, part 1 of a couple, on my year in review thoughts. This one I want to look at what I like to call miscellaneous. These are kind of promotions that I know of, follow, that I just don't feel like putting into their own category, depending on how much I watched or followed them over the course of the year. So let's think. That would include PWG. I wasn't watching a ton of it. CZW, I followed it. It's, again, very lackluster on the watching. PWG, CZW, AAW. There was, what else? Shit, I'm sorry, guys, I'm out of it. AAW out of Chicago, FIP down in Florida. And I guess I would include FWA in there. And then I guess there's All Japan in Japan, which I watched un poquito of. And can I think of Big Japan? I guess I didn't watch nearly as much Big Japan as I wanted. I'll probably do a big catch up because I was watching other things / going to college. That kept me from watching as much Big Japan as I wanted, because I do enjoy Big Japan a lot. So, yeah, all these promotions going on. So first, as I'll probably do in my other one, I'm going to do my top 3 matches in this category. In this case, miscellaneous type indies. So, my number 3 match is going to be, I'm gonna go with Chris Hero and Davey Richards. No, my number 3. Number 3. Yeah, Chris Hero and Davey Richards I thought was awesome. Awesome match. Great stuff. Yeah, just hard hitting, what you'd expect. This was at PWG 7, where they just beat the crap out of each other. Good stuff. Number 2. Actually, do you know what? Davey Richards versus Chris Hero is number 2. So number 3, I'm going to put the AAW loser leaves AAW for a year. No barbed wire match between the Phoenix Twins and House of Truth. Crazy match. Super good match on a okay show. Fantastic stuff. Hooray. I like AAW. I hope they figure out what they're doing. And number 1, I'm gonna put Davey Richards and Kenny Omega. Awesome. God, I haven't seen. Those are 3 matches I haven't watched since forever ago. God damn. Yeah. Oh yeah, and an honorable mention in this category, I gotta mention Chris Hero and Akira Tozawa. So Akira Tozawa proved that he was the man, and Chris Hero also proved that he was the man, which makes me excited about seeing Kevin Steen versus Akira Tozawa whenever there's Cyanide from PWG available. So there's PWG. PWG in 2010. It was a interesting year for them. They had a very, very solid year in terms of shows. Will it be what is it going to be? What it was like in 2009? No. Did it end up being what it was like in 2009? No. You could say it could have been even better than 2009, but That's asking a ton. Sorry, watching TV at the same time. But yeah, just still a damn solid year. 7 was a fantastic show. I want to try and I'm gonna watch that again soon, probably, because it's rocking. I can get behind the direction they're going. That they're pushing a lot more SoCal stars, guys that you'd see on say the NWA show. Those type of SoCal guys. It's really cool stuff. They lost. They had to take the belt off Omega because he wasn't going to be around, and even worse, they had to just strip Davey of the title, which I thought sucked. That was almost as bad as Danielson winning the title and then vacating it. Almost as bad. Almost. Actually, I don't know what's worse. The way they took it off of Davey or the way that Danielson won it and then vacated it. I don't know. But yeah, PWG title has been in a rough place this past year, but what have you. They still got, their SoCal talent is very good and will probably be a big part of their show in the future. Your Cutler Brothers, your Rock Nest Monsters, your Ryan Taylors and Brian Cages, your Willie Max, those kind of Brandon Gatson, Brandon Bonham, those kind of guys will be a big part of PWG in the future. In addition to your heroes and Casinolis and El Generico, and Paul London really doing his thing. Paul London does really work hard for PWG, so good for him. I've always liked him, so as long as he's staying in shape, doing well, and not going too out of his mind, I think we can work with that. That's like the biggest one, and then there's one I guess would be an honorable mention, but from All Japan, Masakatsu Funaki versus Suwama from October. Their Triple Crown match was awesome, so good, crazy strike sequences, all that good stuff. Yeah, really, really, really nice stuff. All Japan. I don't necessarily know how they did that well this year, but I did see that one match and bits and pieces of other stuff. So, yay for that match, which is an awesome match. There's Big Japan. I think I tuned out a lot after Raiji Ito won back the BWG Deathmatch Heavyweight title. He's awesome. He is. I know he's Big Japan's guy, but I think they had a great thing going with Yuko Miyamoto, and they were starting to put him with some other younger guys, specifically Sami Kadaka and Takeda, Masashi Takeda. Those two guys rocked. He had great matches with them. Big Japan knows how to do a freaking death match. They really do. Yeah, and I kind of tuned out after Raiji Ito won it. I was like, they could have done something cool. Either put the belt on Jun Kasai, which I know people like AJ Orton are just like, just give the belt to Jun Kasai. He puts on some stellar stuff here and there. In my opinion, has changed a lot on him in the past year or so. They could have put it on Kodaka. They could have put it on Takeda. Putting it back on Ito just kind of seems, I don't know. But I'm going to do a lot of catching up on Big Japan because I really like them, and I'm pretty sure they're still putting on some pretty damn good stuff. And they also have Daisuke Sekimoto, who's who was a dynamo this past year. He was kind of under the radar Wrestler of the Year candidate. And then we had what else? I'll talk about. I'll talk about FIP real quick. FIP has been downplayed a ton since the end of the Roderick Strong and Eric Stevens feud. That was happening between FIP and ROH. Was red hot, super cool. It was alright, they gave the belt to Shiozaki, they gave the belt to Tyler Black, who dropped the belt to, I think he actually vacated the belt, and it went to Davey Richards. So it's like, okay, 2009 Davey Richards should be hot. The title was not long, like less than a year later, in beginning of 2010. They just vacate the FIP title after it changed between Davey and Masaki Mochizuki. They clean slated it. They put the belt on Jon Moxley, and I believe this was right around the time where he also won the CZW World Heavyweight title. I'll get to them in a bit. But they ran with Moxley for this year, but they were also still doing a bit of what they were doing. I think it was like at the what am I thinking? I think at some point in the year, Roderick Strong and Eric Stevens were teaming up. They were actually tag champs for a while. And then they did a big breakup, and they were going to have a big Cage of Death match. Is it Cage of Death? And Cage of Pain. Cage of Pain. That's what FIP does. Their big weapons cage match. And apparently it ends in a no contest because it was like, what was it? It was like a double knockout or something like that. And then this group, 911 Incorporated, beats the crap out of them. It's kind of like, really? You couldn't have done an actual blow-off for the feud that really got FIP a name, outside of people like Homicide and Bryan Danielson holding the belt. Even them didn't quite do for FIP what Strong versus Stevens feud did, with the help of Gabe in ROH helping them out. So they had a weird year, but they got Jon Moxley, who's quite the guy. They got some decent, Florida talent. They'll do their thing. Hooray for them. And then there's CZW, improving vastly. I think probably since starting around when DJ Hyde took over things, which started Cage of Death 09. They're doing good, man. They're doing good. I don't like that they only gave B-Boy about 3 weeks with the world title, because I like B-Boy, and you would think that they would invest more in him, but they put the belt on Moxley, which turned out to be the right thing to do, because he had a hot year. He was starting to build up, and shit, I'm stuttering. You had him. You had Cult Fiction starting to rise up a lot. They were a big part in the death match scene. Whatever death match or hardcore match was part of the show usually involved someone in Cult Fiction. Either that or Nick Gage. Nick Gage went nuts this year. He probably won't be with them much longer because he's probably going to fucking jail, but what have you. They had Nick Gage getting big, and he was doing real good. He had really tightened his deathmatch game. You could start seeing that in his match with Thumbtack Jack at Cage of Death at the end of 2009. Awesome match. That was like an opening barbed wire match. It was so cool. And they ran with a couple things. Jon Moxley is champ. They put the belt on Nick Gage for like a month. I was kind of on that, but what have you. They took Egotistico Fantastico, unmasked himself, now going by the Ego, Robert Anthony. Good for him. He'll He'll get to be, kind of this heel who's turning on this persona and what have you. Sami Callihan doing his thing. They'll do something big with. I'm sure in 2011 they'll do something big with Jon Moxley and Sami Callihan. The former Switchblade conspiracy. Kind of colliding. They'll do something with Robert Anthony. They might have been doing something with Nick Gage, but not anymore. They turned Drake Younger heel, made him aligned with himself with Cult Fiction. He cut his hair, dyed his hair, started wearing a suit. I think it was a Golden Boy he goes by now. That's cool. I can work with that. And they did that, and in the meanwhile, basically turned Devin Moore face. For anyone who watches CZW, Devin Moore is a scumbag. was a scumbag of CZW, which I guess is saying a lot, because for CZW, even though they're starting to clean themselves up a lot, they basically had Devin Moore start coming back as like the guy fighting against Drake Younger and his alliance with Cult Fiction, their big heel faction. So yeah, and there was that. Eddie Kingston was there for a little bit, even though eventually left. They crowned new tag champs in Philly's Most Wanted, which is Joker and Sabian, the former Blackout. And in this January, I believe very soon, like I think might even be like this weekend or whatever. They're doing Philly's Most Wanted versus the Briscoe Brothers. Sound familiar? For the CZW Tag Team titles. Hooray, hooray. Just another kind of, that's very much representative of how CZW's undercards have been. A lot of tag, junior heavyweight type action, high-paced fun, and then you lead up to these big-time hardcore matches. I like the way they're doing it. What else do I want to talk about? I see PWG doing just pretty much carrying on as they have been. I see CZW changing things up a little bit. They got some unique stories going into 2011. But it's going to be the same type of thing, but with a different, very, very much a different set of guys than you'd expect. New heels, new faces. One more. AAW. This is going to be quick. I think they, after the anniversary show with Phoenix Twins and House of Truth, that big blow-off, and it was a big blow-off, it was great. But they're kind of, rocking the Midwest talent and not really rocking the boat a ton. But I guess they'll do just fine. They're using, they got Silas, they're rolling with Silas Young as their champ, while they're building up a few guys to try and take the belt off him, which I think is kind of cool. They do have like a lineup of guys ready to take the belt. But I think Silas is a good champ for a promotion like that, so yay for AAW. And they'll probably be doing the same thing into the future, including whoever takes the belt off of Silas Young. So yeah, this will probably be the worst of my year in review vids. It'll be probably the longest. Yeah, it's about 18 minutes now. This is the longest one. I'm sure it'll be the longest one. No matter how much I rant on whatever, depending on what promotion I have. Okay, maybe the TNA one might be longer, but this will be one of the longer ones. Just touching up on all these ones, all these miscellaneous promotions. Yeah. So those are my thoughts. Some matches. Those 5 matches that I mentioned. Check them out. They're worth your time very much. From these lesser known promotions. Well, All Japan isn't lesser known, but it's downplayed compared to its counterparts. Up next, I'll probably talk I'll talk either Noah or New Japan. So next will be Japanese wrestling. So right before the 20-minute mark. Stay classy, everybody.